everybody. Welcome back to the ANJC podcast. I am your host, Dr. Mike Acanfora. I'm thrilled today to have my fellow New Jersey chiropractor on the show, Dr. Larry Arbeitman. Larry, how are you today?
I'm having a great day. Thanks for having me as a guest. Hi, everybody.
Oh, awesome. I'm going to read Dr. Arbeitman's bio, and then we're going to get into a little discussion on chiropractic and what he's doing. I'm thrilled again to get this started. Dr. Larry Arbeitman brings over 2 decades of clinical excellence, leadership, and heart-centered innovation to the chiropractic profession. He is the founder of Upper Cervical Chiropractic of Monmouth, located in Marlborough, New Jersey. Since opening his doors in 2005, Dr. Arbeitman has overseen more than 300,000 patient visits, trained 15 associate doctors, and authored publications including The Gift of Hope, The Path to Healing Through Upper Cervical Chiropractic. Under his leadership, the practice has become an industry benchmark for patient retention and culture. He has created a care model rooted in purpose and integrity. As the founder of Care to Grow Consulting, Dr. Arbeitman has created a platform where his years of experience, leadership, and care-first philosophy come together to empower the next generation of healthcare professionals and organizations. He is also the creator and host of the Care to Grow Show, a podcast that features real conversations and purpose-driven healthcare leaders exploring what it truly means to serve, lead, and grow with care. His vision is bold: to start a national conversation around putting the care back into healthcare in America. I will put the links in the show notes, and I want to say welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm a man on a mission, and it's a worthwhile mission because the patients deserve good care. And so when I saw this opportunity to utilize the platform as an ANJC member, I was there from the very beginning. I said, let's use the platform to get this valuable message out to our doctors, and I think it's going to benefit everybody.
Awesome. I agree. And what you do as a chiropractor is very unique to chiropractic itself.
Yeah.
Upper cervical chiropractic, which we'll get into, is extremely powerful and very unique. So let's back up a second before we get into it. Tell people your journey and how you got into chiropractic.
Sure. It like most chiropractors, we were called to it. And when I look back, I am originally from Manalapan, New Jersey. I played football in the 90s. And back in the 90s, it was before we know what we know now about concussions. We were actually taught to tackle with our heads, our helmets. In fact, you knew who got more playing time based on who had more scuffs on their helmet. So I led head first. I was a linebacker and a blocking back. And I still do lead head first, but just differently. And my neck was never right after that. And so I thought I wanted to be a medical doctor or a physical therapist. And in undergraduate, I was doing internships in those areas, and it just wasn't speaking to me. And then we had a friend who was a chiropractor in North Caldwell, and he was in love with chiropractic. It was almost like, why is this guy doing cartwheels all the time? And then I went down to Life University, and that same feeling was there. Everybody just seemed to be in love with this thing called chiropractic, and I wanted to be happy, and it spoke to me. And I enrolled at Life back in 1999, and for me, I still wasn't getting great results. And one of my classmates said, go listen to this upper cervical doctor speak on campus. And I went on a Wednesday night. His name was Russell Friedman. He was a NUCA doctor. And he showed up with 6 patients who told these miracle stories. And, you know, being from Jersey, right, we're skeptical. You got to prove it to me, right? So I went in as a patient, and I got my first NUCA or upper cervical adjustment. And looking back on it, it was a spiritual experience because I remember sitting in his resting room and everything just felt right again. And I can't even put words to it. The colors were brighter, the sounds were louder. And looking back, I think that was God speaking to me and said, young man, this is your work. This is what you're intended to do. And here we are 26 years later and 300,000 visits and 15 associate doctors. And to this day, I still don't remember the student that told me to go to that lecture. So she was an angel that came in my life. And you know what BJ said? You never know how far reaching something you say will touch the lives of thousands tomorrow. And she doesn't know how many thousands of lives. And as I tell my patients a story, go tell people about chiropractic because you don't know how far it will go for them. We have a duty to do that. So that's how I landed here as an upper cervical doctor. And I'm just as passionate about the care now as I was then.
Amazing. That's a great story. My story is similar in nature. I wanted to go to PT school and got my acceptance on the same day, PT and chiropractic. And
Mm,
the school I wanted to go to for PT had an earthquake. And I said, that's a sign from God.
there we
And
go.
that's when I made a life decision at that moment in listening to the signs of what I needed to do. And that was 30 years ago.
It's
Uh,
so cool when we look back, right? And we
yes.
go,
Oh
well,
my
if
God.
this didn't happen, that wouldn't have happened. And this, so
Yeah. And, just like you said, the ripples are just amazing. So you've overseen more than 300,000 adjustments, which is an
yeah.
extraordinary number. What are some of the most important lessons you've learned from building a successful and fulfilling chiropractic career?
One of the things that I'm most proud of in our practice is our retention, our patient retention. So we have a large lifestyle, maintenance, wellness, whatever term you want to use, practice. I mean, our patient visit average is north of 100, meaning the average patient stays with us 100 visits for lifestyle care. They're receiving chiropractic care the way many of us receive chiropractic care for the last 20, 30 years, and our families and our kids. And the only way to do that, the only way to accomplish that is by leading with authenticity and care. They need to feel cared for more than they feel anywhere else in the healthcare system. And oftentimes we hear that, like, nobody takes care of us. Like, are you for real? Are you always this happy? I had a new patient say this to me yesterday. Are you always like this? Like, we've never had a doctor like this. And for me, like, it's just the way that I operate. I had two simple rules in the beginning. You have to get people great results or they're not coming back. We have to be good clinicians, but then we have to treat them like family and they have to feel that. So I look at everybody not as a patient, but as somebody's mother, father, brother, sister, uncle. Someone loves them. A lot of people love them. And so I just love them and I care for them and I speak to them the same way I would speak and care for my own family. And that's the formula. It's really, I mean, of course, there's lots of procedures and scripts and things we need to do. But if we wanted to like oversimplify it, get great results, treat them like family.
Love it. Love it.
Mhm.
When did you get your first chiropractic adjustment?
My first chiropractic adjustment was I went down to visit that friend from North Caldwell. He was actually a student at Life at the time. And um, my first adjustment was in his apartment when I was visiting Life. It was so cool, and so it just felt right. Like again, that was one of those. Looking back, I'm a very cerebral person. I think a lot. I'm analytical, but my best decisions have been made with my gut.
100%. Love it.
Mhm.
All right. So, what inspired you to create Care to Grow Consulting and Care to Grow University? Um, and what gap did you see in the healthcare system that needed to be addressed?
It was the next spiritual message that that I've received. Again, I was naive to believe that this is how all doctors cared for their patients. And but then I started hearing like, you know what? I don't get phone calls back like you guys return calls. I can't get an appointment. They said they were going to send me the prescription, but I never got it. He didn't go over the results of the test. Will you go over the results of the test? And I see that there's such a dearth of actual care out there, and I know there's great doctors in every profession, don't get me wrong, but it
Mhm.
just seems like as the years went on, and especially like after COVID, like people just weren't getting good care. Like, I don't know if, I have some theories on why that is. If doctors feel rushed or they feel jaded or the system is breaking them down or the paperwork demands, and there's all kinds of excuses we can make. But at the end of the day, like, we're not doctors and patients, we're humans and humans.
Yeah.
And so I get this, I'm at a retreat and I'm in meditation, and I get this epiphany that, like, we need to start a conversation nationally about putting care back into healthcare. If you look at consulting companies in our profession or other professions, it's about getting new patients and how do you market this new machine that you got, and what's the script to get them to keep coming. And I'm like, that's not what it's about. Like if you want to grow a practice, just start caring for people again. And there's never been a easier time. The bar has never been lower. If you provide great care, they won't go anywhere else because they can't get it anywhere else. And so I said, like, well, let's do two things. Let's create a platform, a self-paced learning platform, a university called Care to Grow University, where doctors and organizations and paraprofessionals can go and learn how to apply this. And when I decided to create Care to Grow, Michael, I didn't create it for the chiropractic profession. I created it for the healthcare system. I think chiropractors do it better than most. We always had to, because we were sort of like, always going against the stream, and we had to do it better than everybody else. And granted, we can all care more. So I really opened up the education process to everyone. And then I said, so let's start interviewing some really great doctors who are caring for people in unique ways. And so we launched the Care to Grow Show podcast. We've had medical doctors, mental health therapists, nurses on there, nurse practitioners, chiropractors, acupuncturists. I am interviewing everybody across all different disciplines who care for people in a really unique way. And then we're chopping up those clips. We're letting them go viral because we are going to start a viral conversation about putting care back into healthcare in America because the patient deserves it.
That's amazing. Talk to me about the care first approach. What does that actually mean? And how does that impact patient outcomes, team culture, and the practice performance?
So this is really interesting. After I had the concept and I built out the university and I launched the podcast, I took a meeting from one of the alumni representatives from Logan. I actually ended up graduating from Logan. And she came to my office and I'm all excited and I'm telling her everything that I just mentioned here. And she said, "This is amazing. I'm reading a book right now. It's called Compassionomics. And it was written by Dr. Anthony Mazzarelli, who's the CEO of Cooper Hospital down in Camden, New Jersey. And him and Dr. Treziak, they compiled all the medical literature on compassion in healthcare. And what they found, this was after, there was basically all the research to support my theory or hypothesis. And even though I have a 23-year clinical, study on it, and what they show is that when providers lead with compassion, doctor burnout goes down, patient retention goes up, revenue goes up, staff turnover goes down, and doctor fulfillment goes up. All of the metrics of success in practice go up when we lead with compassion. So a care first practice is actually a compassionate practice, but we have to define compassion. There's a difference between empathy and compassion. Empathy is feeling. Someone tells you their dog died and you go, "Oh, I had that happen once too. It's awful. It's the worst feeling. You're sick to your stomach," and you feel what they feel. Compassion is the action of empathy. So compassion is they tell you their dog died and you send them a card saying, "I know your dog had a great life with you and he's really happy now in doggy heaven." So, and that's just one example that I just pulled out, but we have so many opportunities to be compassionate throughout the day. And one of the reasons why I think doctors don't do it is because they think it's going to take more time. But the research shows that another way of showing up compassionately is listening. Being a good listener. Don't cut people off when they're talking. Don't finish their sentences. Don't answer them before they're done asking their question. Don't cut their chief complaint off. And the research that Dr. Mazzarelli on the podcast, it's a good one for everybody to check out. The podcast is on iTunes and Spotify and out on our website. But Dr. Mazzarelli's research showed that if a doctor gives a patient 50 seconds, to tell their chief complaint, it cuts the anxiety related to their condition down. And on average, the average doctor was giving people 27 seconds to tell their chief complaint.
Wow. Just
All we have
just
to do is listen for less than a minute.
amazing. Repeat that for me. That is
So this
profound.
particular study was done in
Yep.
cancer patients. And what they did was they gave the doctors a statement to read, a compassionate statement. And if they read this statement and they listened for 53 seconds, it was clinically significant. The anxiety in the cancer patients who got the statement and the 50 seconds of listening went down clinically significant. And we all know that anxiety, so they've also done the research on anxiety, IBS, back pain. Like it's not a soft skill. It's actually a clinical tool that when practiced regularly will impact patient outcomes in our practice.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. My old time coach, Russ Rosen, was the one who I had exactly what you were saying, I was following. But when you hear things like this, like a study, what he said is you have one mouth and two ears for a reason. Listen
Mm.
twice as much as you talk. And this study actually proves it. 50 to 27, it's double the amount of time. Just listen, let them get it out. Justice doesn't not justice doesn't just need to be served, it needs to appear to be served. And that's where
Mm.
the listening part comes in. That study nails it right on the head. So that's gold right there. That's
And it's
gold.
not going to slow you down. I mean, you
No.
guys hear my numbers. Like we're high volume.
Yep.
You can do it in a short amount of time. The
Yep.
other thing too, and this is a good little tip, is in your EHR, like if they tell you they have an anniversary coming up, or they went to France on vacation, or their son's graduating from Monmouth University, just put it in your EHR. I'm good at remembering these things, but that way that when you see them in 2 weeks, you can go, how was Paris? How was the graduation? How was the anniversary? That those little things go a long way. Know the names of their spouses. Don't just say your husband or your wife. Hey, how's Mary doing with that procedure she had? It takes 3 seconds, but it forms your relationship for life.
100%. I love that. That is brilliant. So many chiropractors are looking to grow without sacrificing their values in their personal lives. How does Care to Grow model help doctors build thriving practices while reducing stress and preventing burnout?
It's a great question. If you all think back to why you became a doctor in the first place, you were full of these like grand visions of helping people.
Yes.
And then what happens? You get an office, you have rent, you have pre-search to do, you have people to manage, you have staff to manage. And all of a sudden, like becoming the actual doctoring part becomes like very little of all the responsibilities that we have. And what the Care First model allows us to do is get back to our purpose and our why. And it's authentic and it's fulfilling. And you go home feeling like you served people. When doctors feel burnt out, what do people what's the advice they get? Oh, you need to take a break, go on a vacation, do yoga, go for a walk, take some time off. But what happens when you come back? You're still there. It's all still there. And what the research shows is that when you lean into the patient, when you lean into purpose, burnout goes down, but it goes down permanently. So just be your own N of one study. Try to lean in this week or next week. Lean into your care, lean into the patients and see how you feel. See how that so the Care First model allows you to grow your practice by being yourself. Now, it doesn't mean we're goofballs. Like we're doctors, we're professional. And I'm not friends with my patient, but I'm friendly. And so
Absolutely.
that's the stuff we teach. And so I think it allows doctors to grow in an authentic way, grow their practice, grow their bottom line, grow their patients. And I have this kind of tongue-in-cheek saying, like never need a new patient. Like imagine if you never needed a new patient. Like my practice does not need a new patient. Like we love new patients, we want new patients. I take care of new patients, and we attract new patients. But they're from a practice management perspective, they're just the gravy on top. My maintenance practice is what it was the driving force of my practice. So many doctors are focused on new patients, more patients, new patients, new patients, new patients. Why don't you just take care of the ones that you have better and keep them?
Uh, That is so smart. Another one of my mentors, Rick Sapio, who has passed away, was a New
Mm,
Jersey guy. He put out the numbers, and it's actually like to acquire new patients for a practice, it costs the practice 10 times the amount of money that it does to just retain your patients that you have in your practice already. And
correct.
the interesting thing in 30 years of practice for me is, especially like with a mom and her younger child, is the next time mom comes in, mom gets adjusted, mom leaves saying, "My God, I feel so much better. This is amazing." Guess who the first one on the table is in the next visit?
Ah, the child. Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
child.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
want I want what mommy got.
Yeah.
Mommy feels so good. She was cranky and now she's happy. I want that. They
Yeah.
know it. They know it, as we would say, innately. They
Yeah.
want what's happening.
I've
So,
noticed that. You know what's also cool about being a chiropractor, and I know you've lived this experience too, especially, 20 years, 30 years into practice. That mom may have been your patient when she was in high school. So we
yes.
have a unique profession where we can follow people over the stages of their life. And
Yes.
now we're taking care of their children or we're taking care of their husband. I remember when you were just in high school and your mom was taking you here. That is so cool. Not all health professions can say that.
No, not even close. Not even close. So talk to me about your own podcast, the Care to Grow show. What inspired that? What conversations are you hoping to bring to the healthcare community?
So it's interesting because I did it backwards. Like what a lot of people will do is they'll have an idea and then they'll start showing up on social media. They'll do a podcast. They build a following. Then once they have their following, they go, okay, I got to build something for my following. But I was so idealistic. I was like, I want to build this university, and I built out like I said before, it's 10 modules. It's probably about 20 hours of content. And then it was done, and I was like, well, who's going to listen to this? I've been
Yeah,
such a busy clinician. Granted, I have a presence on social. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, but I was like, I've got to get the message out. And what a better way to getting the message out? Because remember, I said like I have a reputation in chiropractic, but I don't have a reputation in dentistry or acupuncture or medicine. So let's start interviewing providers from those different professions and start having conversations about caring for people. And what you start to learn, I've learned a lot already, is we have more in common with these other professionals than differences.
absolutely.
And when we start listening, like I just interviewed a nurse from Pittsburgh who was on charge the day that there was a mass shooting in a synagogue in Pittsburgh. His mom and dad, his dad is a rabbi. The mass shooter was being rushed to his hospital, and his job was going to be to take care of the man who just shot up the synagogue. We just interviewed him on the podcast. And this nurse talks about what it took to take care of somebody with compassionate care in the face of hate. And he did. He saved that man's life. Now, that man, rightfully so, is on death row. But conversations like that need to be had because it's not that doctors need to learn how to care for people. You wouldn't become a doctor if you didn't want to care for people. It's a reminder. Oh yeah, wow, if that nurse can save that monster's life, I can be really nice to Betty the grandma.
Absolutely. 100%. That that's remarkable. What was the name of that show?
Care to Grow show, and that was our most recent dropped podcast in late
Okay.
June. And the nurse's name is Ari Mahler, Mahler. He turned down every interview at the time with the Washington Post, New York Times, all the TV shows. It was the first time he talked about it publicly.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. Go check that out,
Yeah,
folks.
check
That
that out, folks.
that must be an amazing interview. So, we've got a couple more things to cover. You've
Sure.
trained doctors,
Yep.
you've mentored teams, you've built a successful practice and practices, and now host the Care to Grow show. What does serving bigger mean to you?
So I think it goes back to when you go back to the burnout, we're usually making it about ourselves. We feel burnt out. I'm tired. I'm in pain. I'm hungry. When we're thinking about ourselves, serving bigger, one of the best things I learned in my time at life was lasting purpose, to give, to love, to serve. And at the time, like, as a new student, I was like, oh, it's kind of hokey. What's that about? I was like, all about like, give me the science, right? But the thing that I use the most out of my education at life is lasting purpose, to give, to love, to serve. Because when we are in an act of service, we are serving others. And to serve bigger means you're showing up for them, not yourself, not your needs, not your numbers, not your stats, not your growth, not your ego, not to impress them. You're serving the person in front of you. And I heard a quote on a different podcast earlier this week, and it was beautiful. It said, the most amazing thing you'll ever see is another human. The most amazing thing you'll ever see is another human. And we start understanding, like, this person in front of you trusts you enough to allow you to touch their body and impact their health. And they're willing to pay you for it. Show up bigger, serve bigger, crack your heart open, be authentic. Don't have this fake facade on. Be real, love on them, and everything will get better.
Agreed 100%. That's dramatic. So, where can take the time that you need for this? I want people to be able to reach you. Where are the best places to reach you? How can people get in touch with you?
So you can definitely find me on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. On Facebook, it's just my name, Larry Arbeitman. Obviously, it's attached to this podcast. Just honestly, direct message me if you want to get in touch with me directly, and I'll message you back. You can go out to the Care to Grow consulting website, and that's care with the number two, growconsulting.com. And then the Care to Grow show, again with the number two, Care to Grow show, is on Spotify, iTunes, and anywhere you listen to podcasts, it's there.
And that is CARE, the number two, grow show.
Yeah, Care to Grow is one word. Yep.
Yes.
With the number
Perfect.
two. Thank you, Mike.
Perfect. Larry, do you have any parting words for our audience?
I do. This is not just an expression. There's never been a better time to be a chiropractor. And people now are waking up and wanting natural health care more than ever. They're more jaded by the system. They're more distrusting of the system. They're becoming more informed and being more educated. I think if I can give one tip to chiropractors, in addition to the many that I already gave, it would be raising your self-confidence and your self-worth. We we have a rightful place in the healthcare system, same as the dentist, same as the medical doctor, same as the brain surgeon, same as the psychologist. The chiropractor is right on that rung too. We save lives. You all know that. We save lives. We change lives with the chiropractic adjustment. Their life is better with care than without care. And when chiropractors can remember just how powerful what we do is, and there are no other professionals on the planet that can detect and correct subluxation. That is what we do. And that is a valuable service for humanity. And we are blessed to be able to do that. We are blessed to be able to lay hands on another human being and impact their central nervous system. That is a privilege. Go out there, love your people, serve your people, and be proud of being a chiropractor in 2026.
Well said. That's dynamite. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love
Thank
it.
you for having me. Thank you for the platform to share my passion with everybody. I'm truly grateful.
It is my privilege, truly. Thanks, Larry. I really appreciate you coming on the show. Folks, if you like what you've seen today, if you like what you've heard, please like and share with your community. It helps people find us so that we can further help them express their health and well-being. So I appreciate the time and have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.